Hey guys, I am Dee.
And I am Leash.
And welcome back to Allow It. Yeah.
Hey.
Hey.
How you doing today?
I'm doing good. I just said, considering we were out and about gallivanting, frolicking in these streets yesterday.
Frolicking.
And we somehow managed to get home, do what we needed to do, and then be in here today and start filming like nothing ever happened.
Yeah.
No.
And I thought I was 16 yesterday.
No, that's what I was about to say. We need to start acting our age, girl. Not us acting like we're about 20.
Oh my gosh. I think I'm going through a midlife crisis.
Yeah, I think we are both.
Officially.
No, I think you more than I.
Oh my god.
Yeah, for sure.
Officially.
For sure. Because I'm starting to come out mode. Slight here and there. You see me here, I'm out, I'm coming out because I've been obviously stuck away being pregnant and, you know, having kids and all of that stuff. And now that they're getting to an age where I'm like, okay, like mummy's out. And now that the locks are back.
They are back, yes. Let's address the elephant in the room.
This summer. This summer, please don't speak to me.
Oh, okay, excuse me.
Because hang time is gonna go crazy.
Excuse me, queen.
Don't speak to me this summer. Honestly, I feel so easy. I can't explain it. But you know it anyway because you've had like your haircut and not necessarily have had extensions or whatever it may be. But it's just easy breezy. I wake up and I'm good to go, and that's about it. Yeah. There's just something. That's just so easy about it and so chill.
I know they're gonna catch you and lay out in the streets.
I'm gonna be on my Lauryn Hill shit. If I tell you, I'm gonna be on my Erykah Badu rather because aunties stay in these streets doing bits.
Exactly. This is very true.
Exactly.
And tell the people what you wearing today, girl.
Oh yes, of course. I had actually forgotten about another segment. Yeah. I'm wearing essentials because it is essential to fear God always, today, yesterday, and for the rest of our lives.
Especially on this good Sunday.
Exactly. It's so comfortable, of course, as well. It's like 20 sizes too big for me.
I know.
Because I got it when I was pregnant, hiding my pregnancy.
Well.
And then now it's like 4 times the size of what it should be. But that's the look, I guess, that Essentials gives anyway. Yeah, I just wanted to... Yeah, everything is supposed to be like huge on you. But yeah, it's super comfortable. I love their stuff. And then on my feet, I've got Yeezys and Free Kanye. Free Kanye from his...
Are these colorway approved?
These are colorway approved. He was happy with these. He signed off with these. It's not like the ones that he just dropped. But yeah, free my man Kanye from his mental jail. Fingers crossed he'll come out of it one day. But until then, I'm going to keep on repping.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm going to keep on repping.
We miss the old Ye.
We do miss the old Ye. We
do
miss it. Yay. But yeah, nice and simple and chilled today because yeah, it's a Sunday. There's not really much happening.
I agree. I'm the same on my Sunday flex.
Yeah.
Adidas.
What is it saying today?
It's saying all black.
Yeah.
I'm not going to a funeral, but you know, just decided to wear all black.
You're mourning the fact that our night had to end.
I know. Maybe I'm mourning the fact that tomorrow's Monday.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think more the fact.
Mourning the fact that the weekend has finally come to an end. But yes, mom jeans, Adidas. Jumper. I have Yeezys on my feet as well. Of course, they are colorway approved.
Fantastic.
You know, we stand behind Ye all day,
every day.
And a bucket hat because I didn't feel like doing my edges today.
Girl, I hear you. And this is the reason. The other reason why the locks are back because it's like, girl, the work that's involved in all of the other stuff is just not.
Yeah, no, it is work.
Yeah, it's work.
Yeah.
It's work. And none of the work is recognized because people are just like, okay, she just got braids.
Yeah.
Okay,
she's
just got that. That's fine. Yeah. Exactly. So all your work.
Release me from the work of the edges, man. The shackles of the edges.
You know, you never used to be an edges person, actually.
I know.
Yeah. You really succumbed.
Because it was just like...
If the girls are doing it.
Yeah. And, you know, I don't want people looking at me like, oh, she don't even look neat.
put together.
Yeah. Like, girl, you couldn't even do your edges.
Do that at least.
Yeah, so I needed to succumb to
yeah,
that.
it had
100%.
to happen. Like I had to succumb to what we're speaking about today.
Oh,
which
yes,
Miss
yes,
Risa
yes.
Tisa.
Yes.
Miss Risa Tisa and her 50-part series.
Oh my god.
It's more like it's an extra. There's extra parts now actually because I've been watching them here and there.
Okay.
Where she's added clarification, where she's added a bit of what the family has come back and said.
Okay.
Yeah. So his brother,
since watching her series.
Since watching her series.
Okay, great. So I missed the
so you need to do the aftermaths because it's
Okay.
actually really interesting to see what their perspective is. And it turns out there's a couple of things that I'll touch on a bit later that the brother, Legion's brother, has come out to say, which is interesting because I was like, I knew this was sort of kind of, the kind of person that he was, a diagnosis and all of the background story, basically, of what was happening. But yeah, Miss Risa, I'm sure everyone has watched it. And if you haven't...
Come on now. You have to. You have
Yeah.
to watch, listen, or whatnot. I have to give it up to her. She's a great storyteller.
She's amazing.
Yeah.
And if she doesn't get something out of this... And you see how God works because... This happened actually a few years ago. She didn't have to come out and say these things. Okay, my thoughts as well, because sometimes when I was listening to her, because I listened and not watched.
Yeah.
I just had my headphones in and I just listened while I did my chores. And I listened and there's bits of it where I see or feel why it was cathartic for her to release all of this.
Yeah.
Because it has been a couple of years since COVID and all of that stuff, because they were only married for 6 months.
Oh yeah,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And also there's points and bits of it where I was thinking to myself, I could never reveal this information. You would have to put a gun to my head in order for me to speak on it.
Same. I would never.
Yeah.
I would never put my tea out there like that ever.
She spilled
all her tea.
She spilled.
And to even deal with people coming back and saying, well, look at you. Why would you think that somebody of that kind of stature would deal?
Did you hear what Charlamagne said? Saying that she's got a big back and she, in a way, she deserves it. And Jess was also agreeing with that. And this is what I can't stand about when women are put on platforms where in positions of power to speak only beautiful, wonderful, and great things about each other, ourselves, and they go and make it a point to agree with individuals, regardless of whether it's a man or a woman, who are speaking down on a woman because of the way she looks.
Way too often in black circles because, come on now.
It's actually disgusting. Numerous times I see that happening. They get put in a room, position of power. You've got this mic. You're supposed to just spew beautiful things about us women and the things that we do. And like our mother said, if you've got nothing good to say, don't say it at all.
Don't say anything at all.
It's actually awful considering she's only just started. She's agreeing over here talking about, she's got a big back. She deserves it and this, that, and the other. I don't know what they said verbatim, but I'm sure Charlamagne's going to come back and start apologizing and saying, I spoke to my therapist and he said it was wrong. But you as a human being should know that it's wrong because you have no right to be speaking on that woman like that.
Which is bullshit. Look at you.
The trauma that she went through. It's actually awful. It's actually awful for Miss Risa. What did you think about it when you were listening through?
I thought obviously it was crazy, but I could agree with her. I can agree that she was in a situation where she met a man, and from listening to her, like them going to view houses and things, and then the house never falling through like coming through like it was supposed to. I can tell there was a part of her that knew that, okay, this guy's a liar, but he was paying her bills. She didn't have to worry about her bills. Her money that she had coming in was essentially her own money. And then it was during COVID that time. Who wants to be alone?
That's what she said. She said,
she said
she thought about it and she was like, look, I actually don't want to quarantine alone.
Yeah.
And wow. That was one of her non-negotiables. That she wouldn't live with a man if they were not married. Mm-hmm. That was on her top non-negotiables, and she broke that just because she didn't want to be lonely. She didn't want to be alone. That's why being lonely is genuinely an epidemic, because people will do anything not to be lonely.
Yeah, and I mean, she wasn't the first person. I've heard of so many people that as soon as we went into lockdown, just decided to go and cohabitate with each other.
People were buying houses together.
Yeah, without even knowing each other.
People are buying houses together, which is actually crazy to me, because I'm like, okay, that is that loneliness that I go back into. It's like, just because you don't want to be lonely, you just make these quick, willy-nilly decisions. Thankfully, there's things like divorce. Thankfully, there's people who have the realization to walk out. But there is sometimes people that are still in those situations now. Oh, girl.
They are, unfortunately.
There's still people in those situations now, and it's a damn shame.
But I think she's probably helped a lot of those people by coming out and telling her story. There is a sickness going on in this world of pathological liars from both men and women. Yeah, that they just wake up and decide to tell all types of crazy ass stories.
Madness. I sent you the meme on Instagram where it says, we all got that one friend or that one person that we know that lies about everything. Where they were born, what they do, what jobs they have, what money they have, all of these things, like cosplaying this whole persona that is not them. You say you're interested in something. For instance, I don't know, something random, something you like that maybe I'm not so keen on, and then you say, oh yeah, I really like this, and then I'm like, yeah, bet.
Yeah, I love this. I do.
Like, I can't stand it.
Yeah.
I can't.
I go to the Hamptons with my family in the summer as well. Yeah.
Hamptons?
We also have a house on the beach.
What Hamptons? Please. Just go back to your estate. Just are you stupid?
Not go back to your estate.
That's my biggest pet peeve. It's not even a pet peeve. It's like my biggest no is a liar.
Yeah.
Speak the truth and just keep it pushing. Because if you really think about it, nobody really cares.
Yeah.
If someone's going to be your friend, they're going to be your friend regardless.
Exactly.
If someone wants to do business with you, they will do business with you regardless, whether you're making this up or not. If someone wants to be your partner, they will still be your partner, whether you're telling them this, that, left, right, and center. Yeah. I can't stand it.
Yeah, no, I'm just like, there's a special place in hell for people that behave like that. Just even him I like pretending.
Sushi. Oh, I was born in Japan. Oh my That's gosh. What it said. I said, what?
No, absolutely not. Even him pretending to be on the phone with someone.
Of course.
For hours at a time. Every single day.
She said every single day he would wake up and call this imaginary brother and say, oh yeah, so-and-so has said hello, blah, blah, blah. And she genuinely thought that he was speaking to these people. She thought that he was speaking to these people, but also the fact that he was speaking to certain people who she thought were certain people, but they were not. Yeah. The aunt was not even an aunt. The brother said, that's not our aunt. That's our mom's friend, and I can't stand that bitch.
We don't trust her.
Nobody trusts her.
Wait, did we find out who was the one that called and pretended to be his assistant? Or was it him changing his voice or something?
Nobody knows, because the Patrick character, right? Yeah. I believe it was like Patrick. I can't remember the name, but I don't think we didn't find out about that. We did find out, however, that the brother more or less lives the life he wants. So the brother is a VP. The brother has got a luxury car. The brother has got a huge home and a family and children and the shebang. We also find out that he's gone to lie to that dusty auntie that they've had the child.
Oh, yeah, the baby as well.
They've had the child.
So also he was probably getting gifts and money for this imaginary baby.
Sure was.
And he killed his stepdaughter too, right?
The fact that also Miss Risa was buying shoes and sending them in the post. And then not knowing who he was saying, that's my niece, you're sending shoes to my niece. And it turns out he wasn't not sending nothing to the niece because he's not even in touch with the sister. Yeah, so where were the shoes going?
Where were they going?
Like the things that he was saying and doing, it's like, whose address was that?
No, it's really
it's a sickness. It's a sick. That's what comes out. So
it is a real life mental
that's
illness.
what ends up coming out in part. I'm not going to reveal all of it just in case you guys haven't watched the follow-up. So she does part 51 and 52, but it's like a follow-up of what she spoke. So Legion's brother calls her and says, okay, what is it that you want to know now? And it's a good thing that you've revealed it. This information, and we're not butthurt, basically. We're just letting you know, speak your truth. It turns out when they were growing up, he's basically always just been a liar, always wanted to be what the twin brother is. And the dad, apparently he almost went broke trying to get him the help that he needs. The mental help. So they were trying to, at some point he got diagnosis for schizophrenia and I believe multiple personality disorder. Okay,
makes sense. If you're talking to nobody,
it has to be something. It has to be something. So a couple of things. I can't remember exactly the second one, but the first one was definitely schizophrenia. So it turns out that he definitely has like some sort of mental condition. Because he's still coming out. I told you they found him.
The internet found him, right?
The internet is unmatched.
The internet found him.
The internet is unmatched. It's crazy that the internet hasn't found you a sugar daddy yet.
I know. Come on, what's happening?
If you can find Legion,
like you can find Legion, but you can't find me a sugar daddy. Exactly. I'm disappointed in the internet right now.
So she's then she's then spoken to the brother, and he kind of reveals all of the stuff that maybe she had gaps in the information, or there's certain things where she said the dad died in a certain year and the brother corrected her and said actually he died in this year, and Legion was lying again. And I'm just like, this guy lied about everything,
even the unmarked grave.
Of course, now he's talking about how he didn't get the job that he wanted because he went to an interview, they really liked him, but he didn't end up getting the job. I'm just like, what job? You got no job. Stop lying again.
Was he actually locked up? Was he actually in weekend jail or whatever?
Yeah, he was actually locked up. All of those other things, they're actually real because she found the receipts.
But I know he still tried to lie and be like, I was never in jail.
Of course he was. Yeah, he was in jail. And he's got significant criminal background because I'm sure of all the kind of lies that he's told. Yeah. So talking about being, I guess, swindled. Being swindled or lied to, or you think someone is something that clearly gets revealed that they're not. Do you have any examples? Any little stories? Give us a little story time.
Do I? Story time. I could actually use the name that he gave me because then I found out that's not actually his real name.
Okay, then cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, go on.
So,
no, that's not his real name. It's not his real name. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, go on.
So crazy.
Jesus, I'm locked in.
My uncle, he lives in the Bronx. Mm-hmm. Shout out to Sedgwick Avenue. And I was with my uncle one time, and he goes to a barbershop like by Grand Concourse somewhere. And I remember I went to a barbershop with him. I was young at this time. I want to say maybe I was like 17.
Okay.
So I went to a barbershop with him, and I'm waiting for him. And of course, there's guys in the barbershop. Of course, you know, the usual. And he's like, don't talk to nobody.
Of course. Don't speak to the man.
Don't speak to nobody.
Pretend that they're not even there.
Yeah, you know, and then that one moment, he's getting his hair cut. I was like, Uncle, I'm just going to step outside real quick for some fresh air.
Fresh air in my ass. You said, I don't want to breathe in these fumes.
Exactly. I met this guy named Mike. Mm-hmm. He said his name was Mike. He said that he was in New York for the summer.
Okay.
But he lives in London. He plays professional soccer in London.
Right.
Football, whatever. But for me, it was soccer because he knew I...
So he's a footballer.
Yeah. He's a footballer.
He's Balotelli.
He's someone. Obviously, that went right over my head. I don't watch...
You don't watch football, so you wouldn't know. You wouldn't care.
I wouldn't know, and I wouldn't care. So so he's here for the summer, visiting his cousin, and it's crazy because he had an accent, a British accent. But now that I live here, I'm like, wow, that was the worst. That was worse than my British accent. I was just like, did I really believe that this guy was
but
from
you said
the
you
UK?
were young, dumb, and broke.
Young, dumb, and broke. So, we exchanged numbers, and he was like, "Oh, but I'm here for the summer. I really like to get to know you. All this stuff." Yeah, okay, cool. I remember we hung out during the summer. Him and his cousins. They're probably 419ers now that I know. But I remember I would go out with them. They would spend mad money. Yeah, just like it's nothing. We go shopping. He was just lavish lifestyle, right? So I was like, okay, like maybe this guy is really
genuine. Exactly. Yeah.
So I remember we hung out that summer. Obviously, it was coming to an end. He was going back to London because the football season was starting. And obviously for me, I was just like, okay, it was fun to hang out with somebody, Alicia's always on the hunt for somebody to pay for everything.
Of course.
But
show me the money.
Yeah, exactly. You're going back to London. You're not really of no use to me anymore. So
Bye.
It's been real. When you're back in the country, holla at me. So we lost contact. Yeah, never. We didn't even stay in touch via like social media or anything like that. And we lost contact. So let's fast forward. I want to say maybe 4-5 years. And I'm at a friend's house. And this friend of mine has a brother. Shout out to Parker.
Oh, yeah, Parker.
Yeah.
Hey, Parker.
Shout out to Parker. And Parker was, he was in Ghana, and he just came back from there after being there on holiday to see his brother, one of his older brothers that I know. And he came back, and he had a friend with him.
Okay.
And his friend was the so-called football player.
No, the friend being Balotelli. No
Crazy.
Way.
And I remember thinking like,
I know you.
It takes me a minute, right?
Yeah, it sure does.
Exactly. Stevie Wonder here. Yeah, I can't see, but yeah, it takes me a while, and I had to really think about it. And when he realized I clocked him, I remember him being like,
oh, he was shook.
Yeah.
What he was saying,
like,
don't say nothing.
Because I was like, I know you.
And so he was saying, oh, don't say you know me.
Because he obviously remembers that he told
real?
Me that he's a football player.
Yeah, of course.
And all of this.
And by this time, you're a big girl. You're 22.
Yeah,
right?
So
somewhere
I'm just
around
kind of like,
22,
what?
23.
So I'm just like, huh? Wow. And so I'm asking Parker, like, oh, how do you know this guy? And he was like, oh, I know him from like back in the day when I was a child. Like, we went to the same boarding school.
Right.
And when I was coming back from...
So boarding school in the States?
In Ghana.
Oh, in Ghana.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's like, when I was coming...
I didn't even know... Sorry, Parker, but I didn't know he was cultured like that. I didn't know
Parker's culture.
Yeah,
he is
cultured.
And he said when he was coming back... His friend was basically like, oh, I don't have a place to stay right now. The footballer ain't
got nowhere to stay.
So he's like, oh, you could come with me. I'm going to be with my brother until I head back to Maryland where Parker was living at the time. So obviously at this time, I didn't really get to tell Parker all of the tea.
Right, of course, yeah. Because you don't want to spill it in a room full of people.
Exactly.
So let the man have some dignity.
So I'm just clocking the situation. My cousin Janae was at the house with me as well. So I'm over here like, girl, I got something to tell you because this is wild. So me and Janae leave the house. I tell her about this guy, and I was like, I'm still flabbergasted because basically he's here off of the back of Parker. He don't have no money.
No, nothing.
He's trying to get, we were in Connecticut, and he's trying to get back to New York. So I'm just kind of like, what's going on here?
Wow.
So we go back there the next day, and he's still there, and I tell Parker, like, oh, I need to tell you something. And he's like, oh, okay, well, what's up? And so I was like, oh, can we, head out? Yeah. So I tell Parker everything. He was like, no way, he lied to you like that. Gosh. And I was like, yeah, he told me he's a hopeful. And mind you, I didn't even get to say the accent was gone. There was no more British accent.
What accent was there?
I don't even know, but I remember the British accent was gone. There was no British accent.
Wow.
Maybe it was he would lie and be like, oh, I was in Ghana. I just came back.
Of course, so then my accent has
changed. I'm giving
more
Ghanaian vibes.
Jeez Louise.
There was no accent, no nothing. So I was just kind of like, okay, wow. Parker was like, no way. Yeah, he doesn't even have any money. He's essentially kind of stuck here, but I'm going to sort him out so he could get back to New York. So at this time, I haven't left back to New York yet. But Parker then calls me, I want to say about 2 days later. They find out this guy has taken all the credit card details of all the credit cards. So his brother's credit card, everything he found in the house, he swiped them. He has all the details, everything of the people that let you crash with them. Because you don't have no place to stay.
What a vagrant. I can't stand people like that. Like, these people are really trying to help you. You've got no place to stay. And you've gone and you've done that to the same people that are trying to help you. Nuts.
And I remember him calling me when I was back in New York. And he was like, I just wanted to call you because I said, I'm so sorry for lying. And I was like, don't ever call my phone again. And I was like, and I know what you did with their credit cards. I was like, if you ever call me again, I'm going to call the police.
I'm going to call the police.
I'm calling the popo. I ain't calling the police. But I was like, I'm going to call the police.
Just to threaten it.
Yeah. And he was like, all right, fine. I'll never bother you again. I'll never call you again. I was like, you need to get a life. Like, come on now.
So dumb.
So that's awful. That's the story of the footballer Mike that plays for Arsenal.
I wonder where he is now. Most probably went to prison at some point. People like that, they always end up getting caught at some point. Back in the day, it wasn't a big deal. They weren't really getting caught like that because people were like doing bare fraud, and the police were not on it. They're only on it now because they're now like fraudulent with these huge companies. Yeah. So that's the reason
why.
And
we live in the day and age of the internet. Everything is moving so fast. Yeah. So it's just, we live in a society that everything is out in the open now. And Big Brother is really watching you.
You can't do nothing behind closed doors, actually. Because at some point it will end up being revealed. So regardless of how you're moving, if you think you're moving in darkness, honestly, it will always come to light.
It's always going
to come to light. Whether it's now, today, or 10 years later, or it's going to come to light in a way karma is going to hit you so bad, you're never going to know what hit you.
Exactly.
Be hit by a bus, basically.
Exactly.
Jeez, sure. Yeah. Goodness, not the footballer.
Yeah. I don't. So wherever he's out there, I mean, I hope you've changed your ways.
No, I hope you've changed your
ways.
And
I hope you're not stealing from your friends. Like, come on now. If you want to swindle people, how about you swindle people you don't know?
That's why that Risa lady, she's over here, had basically fallen in love with someone that she thought. And I wonder if at any point, do you think that he genuinely had feelings for her at any point?
I don't know. I mean, for me, from what I get with the Risa Tisa situation, it seems like they were both codependent on each other. She didn't want to be lonely, and it seemed like he just needed a place to stay, if I want to keep it 100, because it looked like he kind of got out of one relationship and just dived into the next
one. Yeah.
So
no, the bottles of piss sent me.
Ooh.
Like she said, the sister or the aunt, whoever, knew that he was gonna die that night if he hadn't left that house.
Ooh. Oh, because if That's it.
I'm seeing red.
Your life.
I'm seeing red. And I will pour the piss on your body.
Oof.
Because there's just no way.
Oof.
He was saying that, because he's in so much pain he couldn't get to the toilet.
No. The piss and a match.
Please.
Together.
Exactly.
Because that's
Thank
disgusting.
you. Exactly. That's disgusting. And I'll be calling his people saying whoever them people are in the phone book, because he's clearly got only one person or two people. He's saying he knows these people. Exactly. That's exactly what she said. Yeah. That's the same scenario that she said it was about to be. It was about to be that. I'm so thankful I've never been in a situation where like a partner has like just gone above and beyond to be not the person that they are.
Yeah. That's work.
It's very much hard work. I believe I've met a few people in my life that not necessarily actually my friends, but I think I've met people that have just were trying to be something else, but they're not that.
Yeah.
And I'm the realest, not caring person ever. So to think that you would somehow think that you need to impress me
to kind of be in your
not
space.
Just me or whoever it is
yeah
is nuts, because like I said, people, if it really comes down to it, people don't really care. They go to their home, they fall asleep, they've even forgotten what you've said in that night out at the dinner. Let's say if you go to a friend's birthday dinner and you meet someone, they're over here telling you story after story after story.
You know that because they lie. The next time you see them, the story is completely different.
Thank you. And then you're there and you're just quiet. I stay just quiet. I'm like, for real? Because you never want them to know that you sussed a long time.
Yeah,
you've clocked. Yeah. There'll be hints here and there that I drop whereby that I've clocked. And then they start distancing themselves by themselves without even me making an effort.
Yeah.
Talking about that, I had a friend.
So
well, someone who I thought was a friend. I knew this person for a very short period of time. So they didn't actually take any monetary, like your situation, didn't take any monetary funds from me or anything like that. But this person, I genuinely thought they would end up being like a long-term friend.
Yeah.
They had their flaws, we all do. Yeah, but I took their good more than their bad. Yeah, because I know everyone has got some light in them. Great person, great guy. We would hang out, it was fine, and I knew in the background that he was doing stuff to other people. And it's a shame because now I think about it, I should have used my birds of the same feather, flock together. Because if I had used that, I wouldn't be in that situation to begin with. I would have just left it alone. But in my perspective at that time, I was like, well, as long as he's not doing that stuff to me, who cares? Yeah, who cares? As long as he's doing it to that person and not me, that doesn't matter. This person was in a situation where let's give him a name. Think of one.
What name do I like?
I don't know.
Let's use Jason.
Okay, Jason.
Yeah.
Jason. So Jason was in a situation whereby like Legion, he had nowhere to stay.
Yeah.
So his housing situation, whatever, had gone downhill. So he needed somewhere to stay. He had found somewhere, but he didn't have anyone to, what do you call it in America, to sign for it.
He basically needed a
co-signer. A co-signer.
Yeah.
And he asked me, I think he asked a couple other people. He asked one of his very best friends that he had known for a very, very long time. She obviously said yes, but he needed one extra like dependent co-signer. So not a top co-signer, but like number 3 person.
Yeah. Kind of like a guarantor that
exactly.
They know
you're gonna come through. So, he asked me, and I was like, oh, you know what? He seems like a great person. He's going through it. One thing, I just feel bad for people because I am an immigrant and I have been so lucky and blessed and thankful to never be in a situation where I am not in my country of birth, basically, and I have nowhere to stay.
Yeah.
Like no family and nowhere to stay. So because he was in that situation, I said, you know what, let me help a brother out, because he's clearly like, this is his last option.
Yeah,
otherwise he's going to end up sofa surfing, and I don't have a sofa for him to surf. right? And he shouldn't be sofa surfing either. That's not, you know, it's not a good thing for him. I went and I said, look, give me a couple of days to think about it, consulted with the other half, and he's like, bet, of course, you know, why not? That's your friend. There ain't nothing to it. It's all good. Long story short, co-signed whatever. Everything's going great. My man is living lifestyle. I'm telling you, this guy, Louis duffel bags, Louis suitcases, Hermes this, Birkin that, Goyard that, anything that you can think of that screams luxury, my man was living it and breathing it. Trips to here, to there, to coming back, going to these, exceptional places, having the Soho House memberships, you know, all of the things that anyone really would be like the epitome of, okay, I've made it.
You made it, yeah.
I'm not thinking of anything. I have no dependents. This is what I'm going to use my money for. I'm going to do it and I'm going to go ahead. And that was for me a go ahead and do it, because obviously that means you can afford your rent.
Of course.
Little did I know.
Dun, dun, dun.
This guy was not paying the rent. He was only paying the rent for, I believe, the first 3 to 6 months. And then afterwards, he obviously couldn't pay the rent anymore. He was Airbnb-ing the other rooms in the apartment. The apartment was 3 bedrooms. He was Airbnb-ing the other rooms in the apartment to fund his lifestyle and not to pay rent. He was getting roommates. These roommates were paying him money and he still wasn't paying rent.
Wow.
The rent is building up. At this point, he kind of, at some points, maybe I think it was like after a couple of years, he realizes he's in a mess now.
Yeah, exactly.
He then leaves the tenants in that home and pretends to relocate to a different country. So let's say Jason goes to France and he says, I've relocated and blah, blah, blah. I've left the place there. I'm still paying the rent, but I'm, making it Airbnb, blah, blah. Yeah. I'm not looking into any of this because I'm just like, bro is living. He's a baller. Exactly. I don't even need to question nothing at all. It turns out, give it maybe 2.5 years into him moving in until then, the housing agent or the person, the realtor, ends up phoning me because, of course, I'm one of the people who had co-signed and said, where is this person? Because they owe us this amount in rent. And considering his stuff, the amount of rent was not a lot of money. It was 18K. He said, okay, he owes 18K in backdated rent. That's one bag.
Exactly.
Sell a Birkin or two.
Sell a bag.
Sell an Hermes or two. Sell a couple Goyards. You're good. Your rent is paid. Right? Why he continues to live that lifestyle without paying his own rent is crazy. I contact him and I said, what is this that I'm hearing? He said, oh, no, I don't know what they're talking about. Don't worry, I will sort it. Was it sorted? No. She called me again. What's happening? Blah, blah, blah. Can you try and be in contact with this person so they can pay us our money back? And we're also kicking out the tenants that are in there. And that means that the deposit is not going to be returned to him, blah, blah. So she's trying to relay information to me.
Yeah.
And it turns out that my guy basically just didn't pay the rent, didn't pay the amount. They're trying to take him to court or whatever situation is happening in the background. And, and the lady is like, it's a shame that you've been dragged into this situation.
For helping
out a friend who needed somewhere to stay. And not only did he do that to me, but he also did it to his best friend, his very best friend that he had known for a decade and a bit, and she's cut ties with him because he's obviously a useless, disgusting human being. Yeah. And I actually didn't cut ties with him. He chose to disappear on me. Yeah. Because I want you to know you've done me wrong. Yeah. I want you to feel it. Yeah. And I want you to see me still flourishing. Yeah. Regardless. And technically, the only way you did me wrong is by lying, saying that you're someone that you're not.
Exactly.
Basically, because
pretending.
Yeah, you're just pretending. So he didn't take any money from me. I don't care. And nobody's trying to chase me for anything. So exactly. That situation, I couldn't care less. But the fact that I was asking you to sort something out because technically my name is tied to it, and you didn't, and you just chose to continue to ignore me. And there is solutions. You could sell this, you can sell that, you can sell this, and you just choose not to because you're just blasting people with this lifestyle that you think you have or want to attain.
And then I always think these people that behave like this, it's always funny to me because then they look down on other people that are actually living in their truth.
It's so sad.
It's very weird. It's weird behavior.
Live the truth that you're in and keep it pushing. Really pretending to be someone else. Lying to people as well because of it, gaslighting people, pretending like nothing is happening, but really there is genuinely something happening there in the background, whether it is to a partner or to a friend. It's just, it's nonsense behavior.
Yeah. I mean, do you think social media obviously has enhanced this type of
individual
behavior? Yeah.
Not necessarily. I think they would have tapped into something else.
Yeah.
So this is who they are. So we tend to make not necessarily excuses, but we tend to say, okay, social media does have a certain part to play. It has a certain part to play because it's now visual, it's now out there, right? So these things, what they're doing or what they're showing, you see it more, right? But they're still walking down the street, so the people in the street can still see it, whether it's on social media or not.
Exactly.
And if it wasn't going to be the designer items or the lifestyle or the Soho House memberships or whatever that they're showing on social media, they were going to tap into something else. If it wasn't going to be lying, it was going to be scamming. If it's not going to be scamming, it's going to be this cheating. If it's not going to be cheating, someone who's a bad person is going to be a bad person. Regardless whether they're on social media or not. Because now he's not really active on social media. He's taken a step back because he kind of knows what he's done to myself, to his best friend, and I'm sure to the company or the realtor and all of that, the people that he owes money,
other people who knows who
other
else
people
he is.
Exactly, that he has kind of basically messed up. So because he's taken that step back, I'm sure he's still doing the things that he's doing. So it's only heightened because we can see everything, but really those people will still be who they are. Or even the influencers, for example. I was telling you, I can't stand it when influencers who have perfect skin, great teeth, the tiniest waist are selling these products to people. And these genetics. People are thinking, look at Keisha, Gucci Mane's wife. She's selling the waist trainers. Have you seen her waist? Have you seen her waist? The doctor chopped off her ribs and she literally has a 20-inch waist, and she's selling waist trainers to people like Dion. I'm not going to have a waist like that.
Promising that you'll have a waist
Promising
like that.
I'm going to have a waist like that. I am not going to have a waist like that. It's just not possible. And she's had 3 children?
Yeah, right.
I believe. And let's be honest, she's gone back under the knife after every child. Let's be honest. And she's selling that. This is why I was saying to you the other day that I will believe, let's say, for example, if Alicia Keys comes out with a skincare line because her skin was not so great and now it's amazing. That I get. But for people with perfect skin, perfect teeth, an athletic body type, telling you if you just wake up at 5 a.m. and 7 days a week and you eat avocado and toast, you're going to be a size 0. But really, someone like is genetically just going to look like who they are. Whether they wake up at 5 a.m. and do it for 6 days in a row, 7 days in a row, every day, they're still going to look like who they are. And that's it. So, people are just going to be, if you're just a trash person, you're just going to be a trash person.
And I mean, also too, being a shitty person, believe in karma. And shout out to those people that were done dirty by shitty people that are now getting, the things that they deserve.
Yeah,
Risa
exactly.
Tisa, she's getting her flights to London and
she's
Paris.
Getting her BMW. She's getting
with the cognac interior.
There you go. So in at the end of the day, like Drake said, it was about to be God's plan, regardless of whether Legion done her dirty or not.
Exactly.
It was all just gonna happen. And like her, she's gone and spoken about it. But also the people who don't speak about it, like myself.
Yeah.
That's fine. Move in silence because it's gonna come back. It's
gonna come back in different ways.
It's gonna come back, and you don't need to hold. Well, you don't need to hold grudges. No. You don't need to speak on the person's name. All of that stuff. You don't need to just let go and see what happens.
Exactly. Yeah. Let go and let God.
Exactly.
If there's a footballer out there that wants to holler at me, it's okay.
It's okay.
I am.
Although she's still very picky because there's been a couple of people on the DMs and you're not for it. So you need to make up your mind about what you want.
Oh my goodness.
Because you're not for it. There's people who've come forward and you've.
What people?
And you said, no, this is not. So, do you have a list? Because put it in the comments then, the list, so that people, for the people, so that they know. Exactly. As always, thank you guys for liking, for subscribing, for sharing our podcast.
Yeah.
I am constantly in what is it called? In awe, really. But the amount of people that listen to us, that watch us, because we only started just fairly recently.
Oh yeah, in January.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
We started in January. So to hear that people, even people that I don't even know, like your people, and people just sharing and all of that stuff, I just think it's really dope. And
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Really appreciate
it. But yeah, it's been another great episode. And if you have been swindled, lied to, or whatever,
call our 800 number.
Call 0800
Allow it.
Or put it in the comments. We might be able to give you some advice. You never know. Or we might be able to just give you some positive energy. Or you guys can just chat it out in the comments and see what happens.
Let us know if you've been swindled. I guess our swindler stories are very mediocre in comparison to
because nothing was really taken from us. Except our dignity.
That's it. Someone using a fake British accent.
It's the fake British accent that I can't get over.
I played football in London.
That's terrible.
And I was eating it.
That's terrible. You were eating that up?
I was eating it up.
Oh my God, that's terrible.
Oh my gosh, it's British.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys.
I'm Leash.
And I'm Dee.